Chairman Aero Club of India, Honorable MP, almost a guru to me, Rajiv Pratap Rudiji, Chairman Shakti Aviation, Manikamji, and our Honorable MOS for External Affairs, Kirtivardhan Singh ji, and the members from the industry. I've got to know that people have come from the FTOs, lessors, aviation industry, airlines, everyone. So once again, a warm good morning to each and every one of you. Namaste. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Aero Club of India and Shakti Aviation Private Limited for this historic occasion. I am truly delighted to be here today, as I believe signing of this MoU to be a significant milestone in our vision to establish India as a global hub for flight training organizations. I would like to especially congratulate Sakthi Aviation to be the first private company in India to set up manufacturing of a training aircraft. I see this development as a testament to our growing capabilities in aerospace innovation and manufacturing. It empowers the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat envisioned by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Training aircraft are the backbone of our FTOs and are a critical enabler for the development of a robust aviation industry. By manufacturing these aircrafts indigenously, we are not only reducing dependency on imports, but also fostering a self-reliant ecosystem for pilot training in India. I would also like to utilize this opportunity to commend the Aero Club of India for its significant role as a guiding partner in this initiative. Aero Club has been a pillar of our aviation ecosystem for more than 100 years now, and under the leadership of our passionate aviator Rajiv Pratap Rudiji, Aero Club is reaching new heights as we are seeing today. And I have also take this opportunity to thank him for taking up this initiative, which has also been a vision in the ministry itself. We have been continuously seeing on growing on all aspects, on creating a strong ecosystem in aviation, because in aviation, when you talk about it, the limelight kind of is being taken by the big Airbus, Boeings, the aircrafts, and the civilians traveling day-to-day activity in the airports. But we have to realize that there is much more to aviation than what we see in the news and what we see every day, and what we experience also. And you can't expect mangoes from the mango tree unless you seed it properly and you nurture it at the growing stage. And when you talk about aviation in the country, unless you nurture the FTOs, unless you nurture the passionate people who want to become students, you can't expect aviation to be of those global standards and India to be where you want to be today. So I really commend the activity that Aero Club of India and especially Rudy ji is doing today. And like he has also said, see, whenever he speaks, it is also like a history class in aviation also. And I have experienced this in the parliament. And rightfully so, he has the right to speak about it for the kind of experience he has and the passion that he shows. I don't think you will find any other person with the credentials and the multifaceted achievements that he has today. In politics, as a pilot, in aviation, and also as a great human being, as a great father and a great husband also. I have seen him in many different roles, so I can definitely take the liberty to talk about it. And he is also always an inspiration for people like us, and the kind of legacy he is building and leaving for the country. For youngsters like me, I think he is leaving a great legacy and a great inspiration for all of us to follow. Taking that forward, now ACI's role in ensuring adequate availability of training aircraft in the country is very much commendable. And I'm certain that this project in particular will be a game changer in making training aircraft readily available in Indian FTOs and empower a new generation of skilled pilots in India. And I'll also like to state the fact that today, here in this room at least, there are people who are more experienced than me, who know more about aviation than me. I am like the latest entry into this industry. And when I took charge as the Ministry of Civil Aviation, I have to honestly tell you that I was not too enthusiastic about it. When you talk about ministries, and in the last 10 years, I've also been a member of parliament. This is the third time I'm a member of parliament. And in the last 10 years, I would have visited every other ministry but except for civil aviation ministry. I never had much to do with this ministry before. And in the last 10 years, I've been going to rural development ministry or railways ministry, every other external affairs ministry also. I had so many things to do. A lot of people from my area were working outside and they had problems every now and then. But when I was given civil aviation ministry, I was a little skeptical. What will I be doing? I don't know anything about civil aviation. But 9 months into the civil aviation ministry, now if you ask me, I can't think about any other ministry other than civil aviation. So I have to tell you how the civil aviation grows on people. And most of this effect has been because of the people I am dealing with in this ministry. Let it be the department, the ministry people in the ministry, or the stakeholders who are there, right from FTOs or the airlines or the airport operators, ground handling, or different various sectors that this encompasses. I have seen that each and every individual who is there in civil aviation is passionate about it. This is not an industry, or this is not a department where you are just randomly bumping into it. You're right from a very young childhood age, there is a passion that develops inside you, and you're somewhat kind of inclined to that passion and kind of getting involved. So when you see these kind of passionate people, that passion kind of grows on you also, and that is what has happened to me today. So I would like to proudly say that civil aviation is that kind of sector where you have completely passionate people in the industry, and you need to continuously nurture that passion. Today we are seeing India as a global hub. Domestically, we are the third biggest market in the world. I'll give you some of the numbers also. Back in 2014-15, our domestic air passenger traffic stood at 70 million. Fast forward to 2024, we have reached an impressive 161 million domestic passengers, making a remarkable increase of 130% in just 10 years. That is the growth that we have seen in the country. And in the present year, on 23rd February 2024, we achieved yet another milestone, which is Indian Airlines carrying over 5,35,000 passengers in just one single day, setting the highest record for a single day domestic traffic. This achievement represents a 20% increase above the yearly average that we have been seeing in the aviation industry. And over the last decade, we have doubled the number of airports. I keep continuously telling this number, that what used to be 74 airports in 2014, now we are 115 and counting. I have 2 airports yet to be inaugurated because we are waiting for the date for Prime Minister. So every month we are kind of adding one, and in the next 5 years we have a vision of building 50 more airports. And recently in the budget speech, Honorable FM has announced that through the next Udan scheme, we are going to build 120 new destinations in the next 10 years. And by 2047, which is the Viksit Bharat goal that our Honorable Prime Minister has set, we want to see India functioning with at least 350 airports in the country. So you can imagine the growth that we are setting, the roadmap that we are building for creating the aviation infrastructure in the country. And after that, we are seeing the aircraft fleet. Today we have around 800 odd in the country right now, 829 to be exact. And then we have placed orders for more than 1700 planes which are coming in. And now if you convert this aircraft to pilot ratio, and I have continuously discussed this number with the industry, and they keep telling me it is 15 to 20. Roughly 15 to 20 are required for the scheduling of the operation of an aircraft. And if you talk about it, today we have around 6,000 to 7,000 pilots in the country operational. And now you have 1700 planes which are coming in. All together, put together, you compile all the numbers, for the next 15 to 20 years, you need 30,000 pilots in the country. With the coming of the new planes, with the growing of the aviation industry, 30,000 pilots in the country, that's what you would be needing. And now the current number of pilots might be sufficient or might just break the edge of what is the required this thing. But if for the future, just like I said, if you want the mangoes in the future, then you have to start nurturing now. And if you want your own Indian students to become the pilots and take the opportunity of the growing industry, then you have to ensure that you are nurturing the FTOs and dealing with the problems that you are facing today, which is why once again I would like to appreciate the activity that is being done here. In fact, when Rudy ji has invited me for this function, he said that 5 minutes would do, you'll just have to speak, and when the signing is there for the photo ops, you have to be there. But I said, this is an activity which you are doing not just between Aero Club of India and the Sakthi Aviation. This is something which is going to benefit the whole aviation of the country. So there is no way that I'm just being there for 5 to 10 minutes. I want to be there right from the lighting of the lamp to the end of the session. This is something which I take pride in. This is something which is checking the boxes with what we want to do in the ministry. So I want to be there and take some credit for being there also. Tomorrow when this whole industry comes up, then definitely I can say that at that point, at that fulcrum where things were moving, I was also there witnessing that piece of history. So definitely this is that moment right now where we are all collected here, and we have to talk about how we all collectively grow the FTOs. FTOs currently have 190 aircrafts. This is a number in 2020. 2024, 6 years forward, we have 318. And we have calculated how many we require current demand. It is a number of 750, 3 times to what we have today. So imagine the kind of demand the FTOs have today itself. And the pilots, 30,000 pilots, if you want to bring, you would need many more also in the coming days. And there have been some challenges of the FTOs also. Some have the money. When they have the money, they don't have the supply. There is a delay of 3 to 4 years. Some don't have the money. The lessors, the banks are not supporting them even if they want to do. And there are many different kind of challenges. So we are trying to deal with each and every challenge, each and every issue that is coming to us. We are trying to open it up, discuss it more, and try to see what kind of solution does this offer. And like I said, this is a point where with one shot we are trying to answer many solutions. We are bringing in the aircrafts. There is a speed in the bringing in also. They are already ready with I think 50 aircrafts, and the next 50 they are bringing in and making them in India, which is also a wonderful initiative and a strong push from our Honorable Prime Minister also to move in that direction. And also as we are bringing the fleet, we are also bringing the maintenance also, which is equally important. Now the FTOs face this issue. Right now Rudy ji has also mentioned that there are some planes which are 40 years old that are functioning in more than 40 years also. And even one spare part that is not available, then that aircraft is sitting. One aircraft might be sitting, but you will have 10 students who are waiting because of that aircraft. There are people who are not able to complete that CPL license for waiting for 2 years, 3 years also. And the kind of financial burden these students go for, they don't realize the financial burden when they think about becoming a pilot. They just see this beautiful machine in the air flying around with making that sound, and they say that I want to sit in that. I want to fly this someday. And when they do that, they come to the age of becoming that pilot, then they realize that there is a lot of financial obligation related to this. That is when things start to get difficult. But we collectively trying to promote this industry, collectively trying to see what best can we do to the citizens of this country, especially the young passionate people who want to come into this industry. I think there is a collective responsibility on all of us to ensure that we dedicate ourselves to those issues which those students are facing, and this definitely creates a good solution for them. As you have this industry coming in, as you have the Make in India initiative, I've seen that aviation is a very sensitive industry. In the long process, from the birth of the machine to final delivery, and then the utilization of the machine, you have so many processes, and you had one more process, then the costs just staggeringly go up at every stage, because it's a very sensitive industry. It is not a clear one-line process. There are countries involved, there are supply chain management logistics involved, there are people involved, there is taxation involved, there is government involved, there is oil involved. Oil itself is a big issue everywhere. So combining all these things, the kind of sensitivity you bring into this aviation industry is very, very high. And that kind of boils down to the training organizations and when people want to get skilled also. So to cater for all these issues, I think we need to have a collective approach, and that has been the approach from day one itself, that I don't want to have a top-down approach, thinking in the ministry that this is going to do something good and we will make everyone do it. We want to go with a collective approach. We want to listen to the stakeholders. We want to listen to the students. We want to listen to the airlines. We want to listen to everyone and come up with a balancing approach where everyone goes out with a win-win situation. And that has been approach from the ministry, and we are going to continue with this approach. I'm saying this here today because a lot of different people from various aspects of this aviation are here today. So I want you to be with that confidence that the ministry is there for you. The ministry is part of your team, and we are going to collectively achieve all our targets together. And then I've talked about the leasing, which is also another problem. FTOs are setting up their shops. They are bringing in some initial aircrafts, but when they want to expand or when they want to maintain an aircraft, then the problem of finance is also there with the FTOs. The lessors are not coming in. The banks are not being supportive. So which is why we are bringing up the new India Aircraft Leasing and Financing Summit in Gift City. We have done one good summit there where we have called in all the stakeholders. We have given them the pictures. We have given them the numbers of how the aviation is going to grow in the country. And we have tried to create that confidence again with the stakeholders so that the banks and the financiers and the lessors, not just from India but across the globe, they can come in and capitalize on the demand that India is setting up today. And one more thing that we are doing from the ministry is the protection of interest in aircraft objects bill. Many of the people would be aware of the Cape Town Convention, which has been a driver for the lessor industry. India has been in agreement with that treaty in 2008, but there have been some legal problems with it. So we are making a new law. We have already introduced it in the Rajya Sabha. Very soon I am going to pass it in both the houses. And with that, we are going to see that the leasing costs of these aircrafts are going to come down by 10%. This is the market estimate that it's going to come down by 10%. When the aircraft leasing, the cost of leasing only is going to come down, then that is going to trickle down to the passengers, the tariffs that we see in the passengers if it is a commercial aircraft. And if it comes out to the FTO aircraft, then definitely it is going to trickle down to the cost advantage of him who is paying the money to get trained at this thing. So we feel that this is a good intervention that we are going to bring in the leasing industry for aircraft. So this, I am also telling you that very soon we are going to pass this bill, which is also going to benefit both the passengers and the students also. Another thing I would like to appreciate here is the Make in India initiative. And here, with a vast market and skilled workforce at competitive costs, the production of aircraft and components not only contributes to investment opportunities, but also drives the growth of aerospace sector. And with this, we are also minimizing the foreign exchange flow also. Whereas, like I said, the sensitivity, foreign exchange is also a big sensitizing factor for the finances in the aviation. So when you have everything in the country itself, when everyone is dealing with the rupee itself, the fluctuation in the foreign exchange also has a minimum effect on the kind of finances that the student is paying or the passenger is paying in terms of air tariff. So this is another angle that we have to see. And one more thing that I want to promote here is, just like we see Make in India, and Rudy ji has also talked about it, the potential today for the country is train in India. We are not only training our students to become pilots, not only our own students, not only Indians, but it has to become a global hub. We have to ensure that our FTOs are of global standard and people are coming from outside the country and getting trained in India. This is the long-term vision that we all need to have. Don't just think about the demand that India is going to cater for ourselves. We are such a beautiful country, located geographically and strategically in a great location, both for the East and the West. And the kind of adaptability our culture has, and the kind of respect, love we show to the whole world, and the kind of openness that we have, it should be very easy for us to tap into the market that the global aviation is creating. We need to ensure that people across the country, today our people are doing it. Many of them, they have the chance of studying in the country itself, getting trained in the country, but for some reason they try to prefer going to Florida. They prefer going to Washington. They prefer going to the UK. They are getting trained in all other countries. Then why not we reverse the trend? We take inspiration from our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who has said that this is not a myth anymore. This is very much possible. Indians have that power to reverse the trend and make India one of the brightest spots in the whole world. Aviation should also take inspiration in that, and FTOs also should take inspiration and try to capture the demand that is being created globally, at least in the Southeast Asia and the nearby countries that we see today. So it is with that idea I want FTOs to ensure not only look at the challenges that you are facing today, but you have to up the standards also. While I am speaking here today, I am having my ministry check all the FTOs that are there in the country. There are 38 of them operating in 58 bases. I am making them go to each and every FTO, sit there, assess the standards, right from the admission, from the student getting the CPL and going out. How much time is it taking? What is the cost it is taking? How many planes do you have? When did you buy the planes? What is the apron? How does it look? Quality of the runway, how does it look? How is the building there? How is the facilities that you provide? How is the hostel that is there? Each and every aspect of every FTO, I am getting it verified, because I am going to rate them tomorrow. I might be the smiling young boy, but I'll be very strict on the functioning of the standards, because I want them to be global standards. I want our FTOs to be of the global standards. Embry Riddle and all, they should all be looking at us and see, wah, kya badhiya baat hai, Bharat mein kaisa hai, dekho abhi. This is the stage that we have to be. This is where we are trying to look at our FTOs and trying to envision the scope that we have. So this is an area where you have to take very, very seriously. There is a huge demand, 30,000 pilots. We are a long way from there. So start setting up that FTOs. Another challenge that we have found out is that why people are taking a long time to complete those hours, flying hours. One is they are mingling with the commercial operations. Wherever there is an FTO, there is already commercial operations happening over there. So we are trying to see, in the policy itself, we are trying to see, I'm trying to categorize the airports also now. Now we have these large airports. Earlier the idea is airport is an airport. You need so much land because you need the big planes to be landing, so you need this much land. But now we are the growing of the airport network, and you have these mega airports also at these good locations, metro cities. You have to balance out the big, medium and small airports also. So I've told my DGCA AI to work on these models, on these templates, where there are some areas where you can be comfortable in catering for that demand by having a small airport also. Small airport might be just for having ATR operations or private charters. Then you might have the medium where you have the narrow body, and then you have the large airports where you have everything coming in, you have the Aerotropolis model. So when you categorize these airports, then you can create the hub and spoke model in the country. Because land is a very big challenge we are seeing today. The aspiration is still there. People want to see an airport in their vicinity. But when you talk about these big airports everywhere you want to build, then it's not a reality picture that you're looking at. So we are trying to categorize the airports. And when we are trying to categorize these airports, two interesting ideas came out. One, just I said that the civilian travel takes the most of this. That is how these airports have come in. But then we thought, why not we have cargo airports also? There are some strategic locations in the country where you can just have cargo airports operating. And then we took it one step further. When we are doing an airport just for cargo, why not have an airport just for FTO operations? Whereas this we thought was a very important intervention which the country needs, where FTO operations should function in individuality. Then the whole expertise of having that place for themselves is going to bring a certain kind of innovation, a certain kind of experience building into that area. So we are also looking into the aspect where can we do something which is going to be entirely dedicated for FTOs also. So these are all works in progress in the ministry. I'm sharing it because that's going to be something which is very exciting for you guys also. So definitely we are going to work towards it. And these are some of the concepts that I have had. I've taken some more time, but I'm too excited about this whole thing that is going on here today. So I would want to share with this, and I would like to thank Shakti Aviation and Aero Club of India. Aero Club of India has been the leading partner in aviation in the country right from the inception itself until today. And many a times it has been a road which is a difficult road for them. But I'm very happy to see Rajiv Pratap Rudiji at the helm of affairs, because one thing I can vouch for him is that he is a man of perseverance. Until he gets his thing done, he is not going to move or budge from his location. And I've seen in one of the fights that he has put up, he has reached the success in one of it. I won't talk about it here. Maybe time will come when I'll share that story also. So he is someone who knows in and out of aviation, and he is someone who believes in conviction, believes in going together, collaborating, bringing everyone together, and then trying to get things done. And this is an initiative which truly displays his kind of work, and I'm very happy with the way everyone has come together. FTOs are things where we all need to concentrate. The ministry is also concentrating. There is a huge demand, more demand than what Shakti Aviation also can cater here. So take them as an inspiration, and I want more people also to come in. They're doing a wonderful job, not only in bringing the aircrafts and trying to facilitate for the FTOs, they are setting up shop here also. So in terms of manufacturing they are going to do, and they are going to also offer maintenance, which is a key component for these FTOs, which is a big challenge that they face. And in the long term vision, when you have this manufacturing in the India itself, there is another dream with the ministry and the government and the country also to make our own regional transport aircraft in the country. It has been running for a long time. Some progress has been made, some achievements have been done, but still the major goal of having our own aircraft manufactured, where we can look at the aircraft and say, this is the something which has been done in India. So that is still something which we are looking at, and we feel that whatever expertise in manufacturing comes into the country in aviation is a building block towards that goal. So I sincerely appreciate the move that has been done today, and the ministry also takes pride in the activity that is happening here. And like I said when we were signing, I said that I'm in between ACI and the Sakthi Aviation. And I'm going to be there in between facilitating for you guys in future also. That is the commitment I've made to them, and I'm definitely going to live up to that. And once again, I would like to, all the FTOs and the industry people who are here, please invest more in this aviation. Please up the standards. The whole world is looking at India today. We have the numbers, but in terms of standards, we have a lot of work to do. And I believe it is very much possible for all of us together if we put in our committed efforts. So with that, I would like to conclude my speech and congratulate each and everyone for bringing up this important occasion and doing this important MoU, which is going to help the aviation in the country. Thank you very much.